Welcome to By All Means Necessary, Real Recovery Talk. My name is Marco Murillo, and I'm a grateful recovering addict. Today, we have episode 11. A friend of mine, Jason, who has 27 months clean. We actually met through Facebook, and we've known each other for a couple of months. Jason invited me to a meeting in Pompano a couple weeks ago, and he actually was a speaker at the meeting. He shared his experience, strength, and hope, and his share really made me think and made me look at my recovery. And I wanted to give him an opportunity to talk about his life and what he went through and what he's doing now to stay clean. And it's very inspirational. So without further ado, welcome, bro. How you doing, Jason?
Doing pretty good. My name's Jason. I'm an alcoholic, member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Doing good. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So tell everybody where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in, it's a little bit probably different. I was born in a little small town in Germany, little small like Bavarian town, a little north of Munich. So I was born in 77, so I'm a 70s baby, so born and raised in the 80s. Yeah, born in Germany.
Okay, and so what was your childhood like?
My childhood was like pretty, how can I explain? Like I said, I was born in Germany, 1977, small Bavarian town. Mom German, dad's military. So, basically over there it's a little bit different than it is here in the United States, the culture. Just a little bit of the magnitude or the just like geographics of everything. America has roughly a population of 300 million people. Now Germany is the size of like Georgia.
Right.
And we have a population of 100 million people. So it's a third of America in the size of a state, into a state. So it's like crazy busy, a lot of people, townships upon townships, cities next to cities, beer breweries for every city. So if it doesn't have a beer brewery, it's not a city. So it's what it is. So that's just Germany. And it's just same type of living, just different culture, just history. A lot of people get it confused with World War II, but Germany goes way back before that time, and that's not our fault. That somebody did what they did.
Right.
But that's how I was raised,
Well, what was your childhood like? What did you like? Well, your mom and dad? You had mentioned something about your uncle at one time. So,
well, what happened was like I said, I was born and raised there. Went to when I was 3, my dad was in the Army. So he got stationed in Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas. During that time, while he was there, it's an artillery range for the Army where they practice with tanks, cannons, etc.
Okay.
And my dad was like a motocross rider, so he had like this 450 dirt bike. And one day he went out, and I'm out front in the yard playing, and the only thing I know is that some dude came back with a truck, and his dirt bike was like strapped to the back of the truck with the handlebar broken. He ran inside the house. All I heard was like my mom screaming. I still remember this to this day. I was like 4 years old. The way my mom screamed, she just screamed. And next thing I know, she came running out, packing me up, putting me in a truck, and we were driving until it was like nighttime. We went all the way from El Paso to Oklahoma City where they airlifted my dad.
Oh, shit.
And he had a bad accident, motorcycle accident.
Okay.
Tried to jump a ditch, and it didn't work out too well, He ended up being in a coma for like 21 months. My mom was over there with him. She's a German lady. She ain't from America. She's like this old traditional German lady that's loyal, that sticks to her husband.
Right.
So after he woke up, we went to my grandparents' house. They have like a ranch in Oklahoma, like a horse and cow ranch. So we stayed there. They have a ranch motel as well. But my mom got homesick, so she wanted to go back home. And my dad, he loved my mom, so he like appeased her and he said, yeah, I'm going to go with you. My mom said she'll take care of him when she goes over there. So we went back home to Germany. I was about 5. When we went back home, moved in with my grandparents' house, So my grandfather, he's an old, traditional, old German guy, built this house with his own 2 hands. Had like 13 bedrooms, basement, first floor, second floor, and then the attic. And my mom's the oldest of 7 kids. So all my uncles were like maybe like 4 or 5 years age difference from me. Mm. And basically we were living there. Everything, and then you brought up something traumatic, and I really, I'm on podcast, but I'll share about it because, it's kind of important to let people know what's going on,
I appreciate that.
And when I speak at meetings, I speak about this as well, so I just let it out. What happened is basically the tearing factor in my life back then when I was a child. I was about 7 years old, my uncle, he kind of took advantage of me, molested me and stuff, like when I say that, I don't say that like just to draw attention or whatever. He did what he did, you feel me? So he did that.
Yeah.
With my parents and grandparents being old tradition, I ran to my dad, of course. I told my dad what happened. I'm 7 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I knew I was in pain. That's all I knew, you feel me? So my grandfather confronted my uncle. Grandfather jumped in, da-da-da. Basically, my dad was the evil guy. I was the lying kid. They tried to throw my dad outside the window and everything. My dad said, that's it, we moving out. My dad's 100% mentally incompetent because of the accident. Now, he was smart enough still to get back into the Army. Now, when he got back into the Army, they gave him housing. So we moved into housing.
Okay.
So once we moved out of my grandparents' house, we moved into housing. But because of my dad's physical disability and his mental disability, et cetera, he wasn't the same. He wasn't who he was, before he got into today. He was a smart dude. He was really a good dude. But at the end of the day, what happened was he started beating on my mom, started beating on me. And eventually my mom got fed up with it, and she called the military police. And I just remember standing outside, and the military police escorting my dad out. And I'm chasing the van where my dad's in, and he's hauling butt.
How old are you?
I was like 7, 8 years old. I was real young. You
so
feel me?
So you're chasing the van.
So I'm chasing the van, basically, and then he's gone. Pow. The only thing I remember is visiting him one time in like the VA hospital, and then they went to court. And in Germany, the women usually get custody. So my mom got custody. My dad's American. He ain't German, So he was like, I'm going back home to America. So he left me. He left. He was gone. Pow. Never seen him again.
Never saw him again.
Well, later on, further in life, when I seeked him out.
But when you needed, you know what I'm
gone.
saying? Yeah, when you needed him.
Yeah, he was gone. So then what happened was, of course, then the military housing went away. So my mom, of course, she's a single mom with the divorce debt and all those other debts, and she has to work. So we moved back in with my grandparents. Okay. So all that trauma's there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The grandparents, the uncles, they're all mad at me, et cetera. I'm just a bad kid. I'm a dad's son, you feel me?
Yeah.
Oh, you just look just like your father. You act just like your father.
Right.
So I became a rebel. My mom was a beautiful 28-year-old redhead. So, she's young. She's, she still wants to go out and enjoy life.
Right.
So she's going out. She's leaving me at the house, and, I'm getting in trouble there. I'm running away. I'm staying there. I'm running away, staying there, getting in trouble with my uncles, fighting everybody, going to school. Now, when I say I go to school, I went to a Catholic school, all nuns.
Okay.
And the priest was like, like the principal.
Right.
So I never had a male teacher in my life. I only had nuns as my teacher. I had Schwester Maria, Schwester Claudia, I had sisters as my teachers.
Okay.
They taught me well. But things just didn't go right. I was smart in school and everything else, but after everything happened, I was just like, I was just rebellious because I was getting hand-me-downs. Kids were making fun of me because I was American in Germany,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. So my stepdad thought it would be cool to put me in American school, because I was getting, things were getting rough in the German school.
Okay.
So I went to the American school in Germany. It was like 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever, whatnot. And so I get picked on because I'm a German.
Okay.
But I'm fighting. Like, I don't, you talk about my mom, we fighting, like all this, it was just fights, getting suspended off the bus, military base was right there. I started stealing because I didn't want to wear hand-me-downs anymore.
Yeah.
In Germany, they got this law. If you're under 14 years of age, you can't get in trouble.
You can't get in trouble?
I knew that.
Okay.
And I knew that.
Okay.
And that's what's crazy. I knew that. So I did what I did. But the problem was every time they caught me, I was like, yo, I'm an American. I got a military ID, da-da-da. So the military police come get me. Now, because my stepdad is the one who's sponsoring me with the military ID card, he's getting hammered with trouble.
Right.
So he's going to get in trouble in the Army. So my stepdad made an ultimatum to my mom saying, hey, listen, I can't do this no more. It's, I got to go. Mom said, what's she going to do? She's pregnant with my sister. At that time, we didn't know it was my sister.
Yeah.
She was pregnant.
Right.
So I come home from school, and there's the German Polizei with the Jugendamt, which is basically child services, and they say I'm going to a group home. So
wait, so your stepdad gave your mom an ultimatum.
Yeah.
And she sent you?
Well, basically what happened was I was a problem child, man. I stood out, Yeah, my mom gave me up for adoption, basically, at the age of 13 is what happened. The German Polizei, they came and got me. But it's all gravy. So I went up to this little city called Kulmbach. Now, if you want to know something about Kulmbach, not a lot of people don't know it, but their beer is 28% alcohol. So that's 56%, a 56 proof beer. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know, no beer in America that has that. 56 proof beer. So anyways, you know, when I'm in a group home, I'm already a problem child. Now I'm in a group home with 2,000 kids. They're all like criminal-minded, problem child, everything else. I'm 13 years old. I'm like a sponge. I'm picking up everything from everybody. You know, how to break in cell phones.
Scams and shit like that.
We didn't have cell phones then, but telephone booths, how to break in those.
Yeah.
Germany, they got cigarette machines on every corner. They got beer machines, and we're learning how to break into those. Germany didn't even have security for, you know, the Kasten beer, which is a case of beer that were in like the Getränkemarkt, which is like the drink mart.
Okay.
The stores would store their stuff outside and just have a fence over. We'd climb the fence and go steal cases of beer. And then they had this thing called bulk spoiler, which was like this big green bottle thing. Because where I'm from is Vineland. It's called it's like wine land. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wine.
All right.
So we're stealing beer, we're stealing wine, we get in trouble, we breaking in machines. I'm getting in trouble because I'm a runaway from the group home. I'm doing what I got to do. So they kicked me out the group home for hard to raise kids because I was hard to handle. You feel me? They kicked me out. So they stuck me to Nuremberg, which was like a small group home that they wanted me to go to. And Nuremberg is like a big city in Germany. It's huge.
Okay.
It's got a castle in the middle of the city. I'm talking about a huge castle. And along the castle, they got this wall, like a real castle wall.
Right.
You feel me? Inside that wall, about 30 feet away, there's 6-story buildings that go all the way around the wall.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 windows on each story, and there's windows all around the wall. Now, this wall is about 5 miles long.
Okay.
So you got apartments that go along this wall for 5 miles, and every one of them windows is a prostitute because it's the biggest and largest red light district in Germany. It's called Frauentorgasse.
Legal.
Right. All they got to do is get checked for HIV, pay their taxes on it. It's legal, whatever.
Okay. All right.
So anyways, when I'm in that group home, I start running away, of course, hang out with the kids. You know, water seeks its own level. So I wanted to hang out with the kids that were my age. You know, we were smoking cigarettes, drinking beer. We hang up at the Bahnhof, which is the train station. They even wrote a book about it called Kinder vom Bahnhofszoo, which just means the children from the train station zoo, because it's just crazy.
Okay.
Now, you remember 100 million population in cities is a lot of people. So there's trains going everywhere in Germany. So the train station is like one of the highest populated places in the city to be at. So you can do whatever you want there, you know. So that's what we did. We'd pull people out from the bathroom that were overdosed, go through their pockets, take their stuff, you know what I'm saying? We just do whatever it is we wanted as kids.
Right.
But there was this one time where I stole this dude's wallet in a telephone booth. He was in the telephone booth, and he left his wallet staying right there, and I snatched it. And I ran into the red light district because I figured I could disappear in there. But when I was running, I didn't think this dude was going to chase after me, so he chased after me, and I'm running for my life because he was a young dude, but I snatched his wallet. This dude stopped me, snatched me up. I couldn't move. You know, I was like, let me go, let me go. The dude came running up. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you chasing a kid? He stole my wallet. I said, I ain't steal his wallet. I ain't got nothing. So he searched me, pulled the wallet out, handed it to the dude, turned me around and slapped the crap out of me. I ain't gonna lie, he slapped me harder than I've ever been slapped in my life. You know, my head was ringing. And I'm 14 years old, and this big-ass Russian dude got me. You know, I don't know what's going on. So he drags me upstairs into this apartment complex, all the way up into the attic, and he tells me I have to clean the attic before he lets me go.
Okay. All right.
So he's like, you got to clean all this mess up. And it was a lot of stuff, furniture, beds, desks, closets, clothes, everything. So I was up there all day cleaning. You feel me? I was up there cleaning. Mm-hmm. Well, during the time of cleaning, he would come up there and he would talk to me, you know what I'm saying? I'd tell him what happened, how I got kicked out, what happened with my parents. And he was like, oh, you American? I was like, yeah. Are you German? Like, yeah. Da, da. So when I cleaned up the place, he told me I could stay there. He said, yeah, he told me I could stay there. He said that you see that bed you put together right there in that closet and that desk, you can use that as a room. All you got to do is go downstairs every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and clean the parlor out. Every morning. You can stay here, you're safe. If the girls ask you to go buy some cigarettes, condoms, tampons, McDonald's, cheeseburger, whatever, just go buy it for them. Yeah. If they want to tip you, they tip you. But at least you got a place to stay. You don't have to steal. You don't have to do nothing. If you're hungry, we'll feed you. So it became a home. So for 2 years, basically, I'm just running around in a red light district. You know, I got a bicycle. Hey, Ami Kent, which means, you know, American kid. Mm. I'd go over there, what you need? Cigarettes. I go get them cigarettes. They give me like 2 cigarettes, a couple marks as like a tip. Hey, can you go get me some condoms? I need some condoms right away. I was like, okay. Sometimes I'd be sitting downstairs in the parlor, it'd be like 15, 20 naked women having conversation just like in a college dorm. You know what I'm saying? They just sitting there talking. You know, I don't care. You know, I'm just hanging out. I'm polishing the bar or whatever. I don't care. It's just, you know, I'm there.
Right.
And these people are human beings, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, they might be doing something as a job, but I saw it from a different perspective, you feel me?
Yeah, I feel
And sometimes there was also pride in my girls. I hate to say it like that, but there was my homegirls, you know? And they were making the money, they were making a living. So I'm standing at the gate. Dudes would walk in, I'm like, no, go right there, go right there. It's where the better girls are at. Girls are at.
Okay.
And they go over there.
Right.
Became cool. But when I did that, the police, I would see that, and they would arrest me because you can't do that. It's still against the law in a way. It's tolerated, but it's against the law. It's like a gray area, you know what I'm saying? So you can get in trouble for it. But also, I was a runaway. So when they ran my name, they take me back to the group home. I go back. Take me back to the group home. Go back. Take me back to the group. And every time they catch me, they catch some money in my pocket. You feel me? Because what am I going to do with money? I'm a kid. I'm hanging out with all my friends. We drinking, partying, smoking hash, just whatever, you know. We just hanging out. So it just got crazy where they caught me a bunch of times. My mom had to fly over from the United States. They tried to put me in this one group home. And it looked all nice from the outside, but when they did the tour, this thing had like a rubber cell in it and stuff like that. I'm like, y'all got me bent. That's why I'm thinking in German. You know, I'm thinking all this in German. I'm like, I ain't doing this. Yeah, I got me crazy.
Right.
So as they go around psychiatrists and they show me the nice parts of the group home and stuff like that, see, and stuff like that in my head, I see stuff like the rubber cells. I peep stuff like, I ain't no dummy now.
Right.
So they said, well, what do you think about the group home? I said, well, if y'all gonna put me in here, I'm gonna build about 25 Molotov cocktails and I'm gonna burn this bitch down. So, and the Jugendamt was like, oh no, he's gotta go. We can't keep him, he's a danger. So anyways, my mom went back to the United States. Right. Because they didn't know what to do. And they just put me in this one group home where it was like a temporary transient place and they didn't know what to do with me. So they knew I had an aunt. They knew I had my dad. They reached out to my aunt, which was in Alaska, and said, hey, would you take Jason, get him out of the group home situation? My aunt, you know, she had a heart. You know, she's like, yeah, I'll take him. Send him here to Alaska. Okay. Well, my stepdad and mom got a hold of it, peeped of it, because they were advised, obviously. My stepdad said, oh, no, because if he goes to his aunt, we got to pay child support. So he can come to us. So anyways, I remember child services coming, telling me, okay, come on, we're taking you to Frankfurt, to the airport, handing me a plane ticket. I got on the plane, and I got off the plane in Syracuse, New York. Syracuse, New York, you know, September or October of God knows when, back in the 90s, 91, 92, somewhere around there. Yeah. And all I know is when I got off the plane, it was so cold up there, upstate New York. Right. I never experienced anything like that in my life. So then I went to the military installation where my stepdad at, because he was in the Army. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, and, you know, my mom's bringing all the friends over, you know, oh, this is my son. He's tall, he's handsome, da-da-da. You know, and I don't know how to speak a lick of English.
Oh, really?
That's the crazy.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I knew how to speak English.
So you're fucking in Syracuse. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what is going on here. You know, like, hello, I'm Jason from Germany. Hello, I'm having a blast. I'm like, you know, I'm different. I got the hair in the middle, you know what I'm saying? Like, baggiest pants ever, Carl K-Nights, cross colors, you know what I'm saying? You know, back in them days, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? But, so my dad said, well, you 16, you know, you can't stay home. You can go to school. Well, in Germany, you graduate high school in 9th grade. Okay. So I already had graduated high school. That's one thing I always did. I always went to school. Through
all this shit, you always went to school?
I even went to school. Yuri was like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to school. And I went to school because school was fun. You know what I'm saying? It was where all the kids my age were at. And that's what was cool, you know. And also I had money. I could brag, you know, when I'm going to school, whatever. And so I'm going to high school all of a sudden. So boom, here's this German kid from Bavaria, Germany, in an American high school with things called rednecks, chewing tobacco, tractors, country music. I don't know none of that. I don't know what none of that is. I don't know what it is. Right. I'm being real. So anyways, of course, you know, because I'm the German kid and I'm the baggy pants, you know, I'm the outcast. I can't be hanging out with them people, you know what I'm saying? So I hung out with my people. You know, water seeks its own level once again. Right. So I started hanging out with the kids that were like the rejects, like the kids that would go on the side of school, smoke cigarettes, maybe drink a beer or something like that and hang out, you know, skip school. That was my people. Right. And that's how that was up there, you know. And then eventually, you know, it just came a little bit repetitive. I just started drinking, hanging out, smoking pot, getting drunk, just upstate New York redneck crap. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But yet hip-hop crap, but yet military brat. Just different type of life. One day in high school, I see recruiters, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Army. And my boys were like, just like kind of clowning on me. Like, I bet you won't go over there and talk to one of them. So I did.
Yeah.
And because I'm Army all my life, I stepped to an Army recruiter. I was like, hey, my name's Jason. You know, how you doing? I want to sign up. Sign right here. So I signed right there. And I was like, see, I bragged to my friends how I signed. I didn't know Buddy was going to show up at my house.
Oh, damn.
He showed up at my house the very next day.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we want to send you to Syracuse to do the MEP station. You know, you can go in the Army, you can do whatever you want. And the recruiter was good. He was the best salesman that I've ever seen in my life. He sold me. I was like, hey, I can change my life. I can go to the Army. So I went to the MEP station. I did an ASVAB, which is like the aptitudes test. I scored fairly high. He offered me a bunch of jobs. I took something that was like on the outside field, like heating and cooling systems repair, power generator repair. You know, I took something like that. But what happened is when I went to the MEP station for my physical, which I passed, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They slotted me into the MOS of 12 Bravo, which was combat engineer. You know, I carried 40 pounds of C4 on my back, building and blowing up bridges. I was like, whoa, okay, that's cool. That's the combat MOS. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, you know. And next thing you know, I'm on a plane getting shipped to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri to basic training and getting told to drop like a meathead.
What?
It was cool. So, but they had me under the split option program. So that was junior year. So during that summer vacation, I went back to high school. I did summer vacation. I did basic training. I came back, and then I did my senior year.
Okay.
And then after I finished my senior year, I go active duty. Well, you know, I'm a senior, and I just got out of the military basic training. I'm pumped. I'm feeling good about myself. You know, I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? We just partied, hang out on posts. You know what I'm saying? I got in trouble.
Okay.
So it was like a breach of contract. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they gave me a general discharge, which is not a dishonorable discharge. I had to get a waiver from an officer, and I could have went back in a year later. Not a problem whatsoever. And so they put me, I was active duty, but they put me in a control hold group in Virginia, which means if something happens, they can call me on duty right there and then. I can just go back in.
Right.
That's how it was supposed to play out. Didn't play out. All I know is my stepdad got orders to get shipped back to Germany.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, let's go back to Germany. Yeah, you know, where I'm from, you know.
Yeah.
But then somehow my passport came up missing the day before the airplane was supposed to leave, you know. So somehow, some way, it's all good. So my stepdad says, well, you can go to my dad's in Washington, D.C. He works in the Pentagon. I'm like, okay. So I moved to Maryland. Silver Spring, Maryland, up there with him, with my stepdad's grandfather, dad, and basically I was there, worked for FDIC, which was like some kind of like insurance company right across the street from the White House. You know, I was just some paralegal, legal data entry clerk. But I met this girl. She was going to the University of Maryland, College Park. So, you know, here I am, 17, 18 years old, hanging at University of Maryland. She's like, well, why don't you take a class? So I signed up for this class called Probabilities in Math, and I started taking that, and they gave me a student ID, this, that. So I got to hang out on campus and party and stuff like that.
Okay.
I only did 2 classes. I only did 2 classes, but the parties were more important, just sororities and fraternities. But then one day I had an urge, so I called my dad because I got his number. So I called my dad. I'm 18, and he's like, okay, why don't you come visit me? I was like, well, I ain't got no money. He's like, I'll pay for you to come down here. I was like, all right. That'd be cool. I get off the phone. I'm all happy. I haven't seen my dad for about 11 years. You know what I'm saying? No, he's in Oklahoma. Okay. He's in Oklahoma, so I'm thinking, okay. So he calls me back and he says, hey, I got a Greyhound bus ticket for you. I'm like, Greyhound bus? You know, I'm not ungrateful, but I was like, I ain't never been on a Greyhound, so I really didn't care. I was like, okay, a bus ticket through America, cool. I'm looking at all the positive stuff like that. So I get on the bus, on the Greyhound bus, not sober the whole lake the way to my dad's house. You know, it's Greyhound. Each stop, you drink a beer or whatever, or you got somebody on there doing something. So I get off the bus, I meet my dad for the first time, which was great. Meet his new wife, meet my brother and sister, their babies, you know what I mean? So it's all good. I'm staying there for about, you know, we're going to dinner. It's all good. My dad's 100% mentally incompetent.
Right.
So he switches like from night and day, like a switch. Okay. Like one minute he'll smile at your face, next minute he'll be mean and angry, straight up. And he got angry. He's like, get out of my house. You're fucking my wife. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? I just met you. You're my dad. Like, you know, after 11 years. No, you got to get out. You can't stay here. So my stepmom, she had a heart. She's like, well, we're going to get him an apartment. So she went and got me an apartment. They paid everything. You know, they got me an apartment. So I'm in Oklahoma. Okay, cool. Yeah. Whatever. Get a job at Circle K as a night clerk, as an assistant manager. I'm working there. Basically, I'm partying. But, you know, my alcoholism and my, you know, I'm not right in the head. I'm always like something, you know, I always want to do something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I figured out a lick on how to make more money. Minimum wage wasn't supporting anything, rent and all this. So I was like, you know, I started selling beer out the back of the thing. You know, at 2 o'clock was cut off. I'd still sell beer.
Okay.
People would come. That back then they still had paper food stamps. Yeah, I'm a little old, but we had paper food stamps. You could pay with paper food stamps. That was the card. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'd wash the food stamps. I'd buy like 50. I'd buy like 100 of them for $20.
Right.
And if you buy a 5-cent piece of candy, you get 95 cents back. So I'm washing these things. I'm like, okay, I'm making money. I'm making bank on it at the end of the day, a month. One dude, they kept coming shopping. I'm making money. Well, I'm hanging out with them after work all the time. But now I'm getting introduced to something that I never thought. Now I'm getting
What's that?
I'm getting introduced to Seagram's gin, straight out the bottle. Extra dry Seagram lime twisted gin.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking gin straight out the bottle. That's more important. 40 ounces, 32 ounces, that's more important. The 64-ounce Old E jug, that was more important. That was more important, you know, you feel me? So eventually they say, you know, it's a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful, you know what I'm saying? And it has more and more effects where it just takes more and more away from you. It's it's a downhill.
Right.
Well, that's what it was doing. Well, I had a little car, so of course my electricity gets turned off first. Now I'm sitting without electricity. I go break in the box, turn it on. They fix it again. I break it in, turn it on again. Now they put a lock on it. I can't turn the electricity on. It's all good. Now I get evicted. Now I'm sleeping in the car. Now I'm hanging out with these dudes. I go to work. I meet this little girl. She's pretty as all outdoors. You know, I'm like, okay. You know, we start a relationship. She knows my situation. She feels sorry for me, you know, but she cares about me. And she tells me she's moving to Houston, Texas. And I was like, I'm coming with you. She's like, okay. So we moved to Houston, Texas, you know what I'm saying? So we get in a relationship. And her mom had this boyfriend, because I guess I was like 20 years old. Boyfriend got jealous, whatever, said, well, he can't stay there, she can. Well, my girl said, nah, I ain't leaving him.
Right.
So we went and got an apartment. We got an apartment. She was going full-time college. Basically, I guess, I don't know, some insecurities kicked in, you know, I ain't perfect.
On your end?
On my behalf,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Because I never, you know, the abandonment issues and stuff like that I went through in my life and stuff like that, you know, I was like, hey, you know, that stuff was crazy, you know what I'm saying?
That's heavy, bro. That's
No,
heavy
was,
shit.
yeah,
I mean, you know, put it out there. It's heavy.
Nah,
It
sucks,
is heavy.
you feel me? It does.
No,
It
it is
sucks.
fucking heavy, bro.
It's cool, but it sucks, you feel me? Because after a while, you get tough, you get strong, you get numb to the stuff. But it's not cool because it's always in the back of your mind, oh, is this person going to leave me? I always love somebody and they end up leaving you. It sucks.
Exactly.
So one day I come home, she's sitting on the stairs because we actually did good. We actually did good. And I tend not to use when I'm in a good relationship, but she did catch me smoking weed one time. She got upset about that, which sucked. Was in the doghouse for a minute. But I come home.
Oh, so you were pretty straight in the relationship.
I was pretty straight. Right. I mean, I would still drink and stuff like that.
But you were, Yeah,
gotcha. Well, let's say if I was pretty straight. Nah, there was still times when I didn't come home for real. Like, that wasn't cool either. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But I went up the stairs. She's sitting on the stairs. She's crying. I'm looking down. There's a little pregnancy test. She's pregnant. So, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm a 20-year-old kid in Houston, Texas with this woman, and she tells me she's pregnant. And it's a shock. You feel me? It's a shock. Well, she's going to college. I'm going to this. I'm happy for her. She's not really too happy about it because she's young and she wants to finish college. And, you know, it was unexpected. And she's a young woman, too. She was my age, 20, but still, it's a big change for anybody, a shock.
Yeah.
So I was happy about it. I mean, I went and got her flowers, balloons, and stuff, and she didn't want them things. She was like, I want that. I'm like, oh, shit. So that kind of put stuff in my head because that's how I got. Well, why does she want it? What's going on? Oh, what's up? So we get into an argument, and she says something that I just could not think that she would ever said, but she said it. She said, how the hell do you even know this kid's yours? Well, I spazzed. What? I spazzed. I ain't going to lie. So I got up, I grabbed her, and I put her outside the door. I was like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? She said, I'm going to my mom's. Are you going to your mom's? I'm going to my mom's. And my mom's in Germany, mind you. Her mom's in Houston right there. So she goes to her mom. I tell her she can have everything. I get on the plane. She even takes me to the airport. I go to Germany, and I stay there. I mean, I go to Germany, hang out. And I'm telling you, I get in some serious stuff in Germany. I'm all messed up. I actually get a job over there at first. I started doing the right thing. You know, back then it was just emails. They didn't have cell phones and stuff like Facebook and stuff like that. You know, they just had, just emails. So we email corresponding each other.
Okay.
Hey, listen, baby, it's okay. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna save money. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna work this out. She would be cool. She would be bipolar. She would have mood swings during the pregnancy. Okay, cool. But eventually it cut off. Well, I'm smart enough because, you know, I knew her well enough because when we got an apartment, we had to get we put down we were married. So I knew her social, she knew my social, everything else. Well, I knew that. Well, I didn't know where she was at. So I just did a slick little move. I called the electric company and said, hey, yo, I'm trying to get the electric bill. This is the name, this is the date of birth, this is social. So they gave me the address where she was at. So I pop off back to the United States after I get in trouble in Germany a couple times. But I just go back to the United States with like $6 in my pocket and a duffel bag.
Is she still pregnant at this time?
She is not pregnant. Okay. My daughter is already born 3 months into it.
Okay.
3 months into it is when I found her, so I should have said that. When I get there, she doesn't want to let me see my daughter.
What?
So anyway, so I go get a job at IHOP, tell the lady what's going on. She hires me. I work like 72 hours straight, get some money, go to this other restaurant, work my butt off. I start getting tips. I call this lawyer, tell him my situation. Because I can tell people, I can talk pretty good. And tell them my situation, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll help you. So they did a mediation. So they served her papers. We went to mediation. I got standard visitation rights. So I saw him, but it was public visitation. So the first time I saw my daughter was at a Denny's when she was 3 months old. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm working, get to see my daughter now. Well, this public visitation is getting on her nerves. She doesn't want that. She's like, why don't you just come over and see your daughter then? Oh, okay. So I go over, you know, we're visiting. She's like, you know what, there's an extra bedroom. Why don't you stay here? You don't have to live in a hotel. You know, you could help here, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool. Everything's working out. And one day she gets a thought and says, I'm moving back to Oklahoma to my dad. I'm like, I ain't trying to move no country town in Oklahoma. Man, I'm living in the city working. Yeah. Like, listen, don't do this. But she doing it. So I pack my stuff and I go to Oklahoma with her. We move. Right. When we up there, we get into an argument about what color the room is, And anyways, it just got into a huge argument. And we separated out of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And pow, what did Jason do? He goes back to Germany. Okay. So because I lost there, because when I try to see my daughter, they said, well, you're in Oklahoma. The rights of Texas don't apply in Oklahoma. So I was like, God. So I would have to start a whole process over. Right. And my dad lives in Oklahoma, but I can't go to him. He's 100% mentally incompetent. Yeah. You feel me? She has her dad, so she has family support. And I was like, damn, just went over here, did all this mojo and all this. So I go back to Germany. When I was living in Houston, we were living in Acres Homes, which is the hood. Mm-hmm. You know, 50 blocks, I probably was like the only white boy there. Really, it was off Gulf Bank and Antoine, Tidwell, right there in that area. It's northwest, you know. Okay. It's like, you know, I got rocks thrown at me. White boy, you don't belong in this neighborhood. But when they see me pushing my daughter and stuff like that and see my baby mom, they're like, oh, okay, because she's half black, half white. Okay. Like, okay, he's cool. And I was playing German hip-hop music. Like, okay, they smoke blunts, you know. So, but I hit it back to Germany after Oklahoma. And when I got to Germany, I just, you know, I went haywire. I started drinking because Germany was, at that time, the ecstasy was hitting hard, the mushrooms were hitting hard, the acid was hitting hard. You know, Netherlands was selling hash for $1 a gram, but if you bring it back to Germany, you're making $10 a gram, you know. So it was like you invest 1,000, you make 10,000. Right. And the Autobahn there is right there in Germany to Netherlands. There was no speed limit. That's why they pay about $3,000 for a license over there. You got to go 3 months day school, 3 months night school, and it's like college. So I got an American license with a stamp on my passport. My license is good. Right. I'm allowed to drive. Right. So I'm on the Autobahn. I'm back and forth. And I'm coming up big time. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm kind of talking in the gray area right now because I ain't trying to get in trouble. You know, you're good. You're good. So I'm staying in the gray. You're right. I don't recall anything. I don't know what y'all talk about.
That was 5 years ago. So.
That was like long. That was 20 years ago. But anyway, so you know, I got a big come up. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Biggie said, don't get high off your own supply. Yes, sir. And I did. Okay. And then shit just hit the fan, bro. Like, for real. I was going to clubs. They were jumping my friends. I'm American. I always been a fighter in my life. You know, I'm sticking up for my friends. You know, 5 people attack me. I defend myself. Well, I defend my friend first, then all 5 of them attack me. But, you know, I fought back. You know, I'm sorry. I fight. You feel me? And a couple of them got hurt, went to the hospital. Next thing you know, I go home, I get press charges on saying that I was the person who initiated the fight, this, that, and the third, and I didn't. You feel me? Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. So I was like, man, bunk this shit. You know, I'm getting out of here, bro. Like, for real. And I hit back to the United States. So I went back to Texas because I figured I could see my daughter work in Texas, Oklahoma, kind of get the law together and stuff like that. That didn't work up. I got locked up in Texas, drinking public intox. In Texas, they got a detox tank where you go in there for 4 hours and then they let you go. That was cool. Go to Oklahoma. My dad lets me stay there again. So when my dad lets me stay there for about a week, he introduces me to methamphetamines.
Your dad.
My dad.
Your dad.
So I'm snorting this meth off the pipe. Not off the pipe, but off the damn marble thing, whatever it is, right? And I had got a job at KFC making chicken. So they got, so the boss comes screaming at me and says, yo, stop making so much chicken. Stop making so much chicken. It was payday. So I grabbed my check and I got so paranoid, man. I went home. Yeah. There was clothes in the washer. I didn't even throw them in the dryer. I just grabbed 2 sets, soap, toothbrush. I was paranoid. I was out of my mind. I mean, I was paranoid for real now. So I'm hitting the backwoods. My dad stays in like nicer neighborhood. So I was jumping over fences, Called a taxi somewhere, and they took me down to the casino because I just wanted to get away. That's like the industrial area. So I went in the casino, and my paycheck was like $300. I cashed it. And I played like $30 on the slot machines. I ended up winning like $500-$600.
Okay.
Whew, I got $800. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I got my backpack with all the wet clothes. I'm tweaking out and whatnot. And I leave across the street. And across the street's a Greyhound station. So I go in the Greyhound station, just to hang out because I'm spooked.
Right.
I'm like, man, I'm getting out of here. So I didn't know where to go. I'm looking at this map, and I'm like, man, I've been to Fort Drum. I've been to Fort Sill. I've been to Fort Bliss. I've been to Fort Hood. Like, where do I need to go? And I look at the map, and I see Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to Fort Lauderdale. So I went up there, and I got a bus ticket to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And I landed in Fort Lauderdale February 13th, 2003.
February 13th, 2003. All right.
The day before Valentine's Day. And I had after I spent everything, I had about $400 in my pocket. I didn't know where to go, whatnot.
You just came up on Fort Lauderdale.
I just, out the blue with a backpack, just came to Fort Lauderdale, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when I landed here in Lauderdale, I just basically, what did I do? I said, where's the hotel? And I didn't know where it was at. I didn't know when. They were like, well, right down there. You got to catch this bus. So I went down to Dania. I didn't know that time. Went down to Dania on Fed. And I got a hotel. It was $100. So now I got $300. After I ate, after I got another drink and partying that night, I had like $100 left. I'm like, shit, I don't even got enough for a room no more. So I'm like, I don't even know where to go. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. It's summertime. February, it's cold. February was cold. Back then it was cold.
Okay.
Anyway, so I went downtown. I went to the beach. Went down to Central Terminal, where the bus terminal is, because I'm used to terminals, Bahnhofs and stuff like that. So I went to the terminal, started hanging out. And we can actually fast forward all of this now, but I'll go in between it again. Okay. I've been at Central Terminal since I was homeless at Central Terminal from February 13th, 2003, all the way to January 16th. No, excuse me, all the way up to August 9th of 2020. So February 13th, 2003, all the way to August 9th, 2020, I was homeless at Broward Central Terminal bus terminal. Hardcore on the pavement, just like baby say, I come from the pavement. I came from the pavement. I slept by the store. I slept behind the store. I slept I ain't gonna lie, at the dumpsters. I slept in staircases. My biggest move was from Brickell to the other side of the street into a stairway when it was raining underneath some street where I used to. I got my ass tore up with some red ants one night.
What are you talking about? 17 years?
Man, it was like good 17, 18 years. But you can't forget, I've been homeless really since I was 13 because I was running around the red light district. But hardcore in one location. Yeah, in
one spot,
16 years, one spot. And it was insanity. It was insanity at its finest, I mean,
so were you still using meth then? Like what was your DOC? Like what was that like?
My drug of choice, to be honest with you, man, I'm just going to keep it 100. My drug of choice, I tell everybody, is MA. More anonymous, more of anything. My drug of choice is more of anything. Whatever it is, if it takes me out of my feelings and I ain't got to feel the way I want to feel, I don't want to feel it. So give it here. It could be spice, it could be flock, it could be crack, it could be cocaine, it could be heroin, it could be beer, it could be, for all I give a fuck, it could be Glade, spray good, smell good. You put a towel on that bitch and you huff and you get that wah-wah sound. That's how I was. Like whatever it was I put in my body to get me out of myself, I would do it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't discriminate. No. And people would come up to me because they trust me because I was like this honest, like, drug dealer. I wasn't a drug dealer. But I was the best middleman you've ever met in your life, you feel me? Because I knew where everything was at. So,
all right.
So anyways, females would trust me because I wasn't in it for sex. I could handle myself. You feel me? I was never in it for sex. I was in it for the drugs. They come, hey, can you get me this? Yeah, I got you. Get them. I'm gonna get mine regardless, right off the top. But I'm gonna let them know. I'm like, hey, this is what it is. I'm gonna get me. You wanna look out for me? I look out for you. I got you. And they're like, oh, you pretty cool. Let's hang out with you. To hang out with me. I don't disrespect them. And there was a reason for that too, because if you don't disrespect somebody, they come back. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is, And especially a woman, that's just not in my DNA, bro. Like for real.
Let me ask you a question really quick. Did you ever try to get clean in all these 17 years on the street?
Well, I've been to prison 4 years. I done caught prison time in them stints. You know what I'm saying? I caught a robbery firearm because I was on Xanax and alcohol. I didn't even know I had a robbery firearm. It was robbery firearm or other deadly weapon. You feel me? Like, real talk. I'm getting off work, pressure washing. I'm hanging out with a buddy. It's like right before my birthday. We drank up all my money. I had $100. It was a labor pool job. Walk around. Like, I thought I had a check at KFC. I popped a job at KFC again. So I'm like, hey, let's go to KFC. I got a job there. Da-da. So we start walking there. I start looking for cigarettes. I ain't got none, but I see somebody lighting a cigarette across the street. So I run over to the buddy and say, hey, man, can I get a cigarette from you? And I really did say it politely, man, real talk. My homeboy was with me. Really, I didn't know him too well, but he was with me. But the dude I asked a cigarette for starts cussing me out. And remember, I'm dirty from pressure washing. Oh, you homeless bum, get a job. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't you think that people work, da-da-da, this, that, and the third? You know, I'm like, man, who's this dude talking to? My homeboy's like, get him. So I snatched him up. I was like, bro, who are you talking to like that? You feel me? Like, are you serious, bro? I asked you for a cigarette. Give me them cigarettes. I took his cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? I took his apron, and I pushed him. I said, run, Forrest, run. And he ran, you feel me? So anyways, he runs, and I give my homeboy the apron. He pulls out, like, a cell phone, an old Nokia-style cell phone, a pack of cigarettes. There was, like, $32 in there. He got $16. I got $16. Gave him half the cigarettes. You know, I slapped the phone out of his hand because he's like, oh, look, I got a phone. I was like, man, they trace you like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we hit the corner, and as soon as we hit the corner, because when Buddy ran up to the street, the cop drove by, so he flagged him down right there.
Right.
So as soon as we hit the corner, man, they were already there, man. It was like 10 cops. You know what I'm saying? Get up, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground. Now, I had a knife on me, which was a hose cutter that I used for the pressure washer to cut the tip off.
Right.
They hit me with robbery, firearm, or other deadly weapon because I had that in my pocket. You feel me?
Yeah.
4 years later, I walk out of prison.
4 years.
4 years later, I never been in trouble with the cops like that. Never had a misdemeanor. Well, I had misdemeanors. You know, the more a misdemeanor I got, but I had a lot of misdemeanors, like for real. And then it just sucked. It just sucked. You feel me? So did 4 years, got out, you know, in and out of, like, institutions, prisons, you know, because they say it's prisons, institutions, and death. You know, I've been Baker Acted like 6 times. I've been to every homeless shelter here when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, you rock bottom. Sometimes you just get high and you can't do it no more. Sometimes you wake up, you're missing a shoe. I woke up in Tallahassee with one shoe from Broward County. Don't even know what it was. I had nothing. I had no shirt, no pants on. I had my shorts on, gym shorts, and one shoe. You feel me? And all I had was my food stamp card that was going to hit in 2 days with $200. I didn't even know how I got in Tallahassee, that type of stuff. You know, of course, you're going to sell your food stamps, make the $100, you know what I'm saying? Get a bus ticket and get back to Lauderdale. But I was up in Leon County just randomly, just sporadically. I done got on yachts where I was dressed okay because I came out of Salvation Army, had nice clothes, got on yachts. Yeah. Didn't get off because I got drunk. Get out, walk out in the middle of the night, and I'm in the middle of the ocean like, yo, where am I at? You know, I walk up to the captain like, yo, what's going on here? I just got on the boat to drink some mimosa. You feel me? Like, don't get me caught up in here. You know? Yeah. It was like, we ain't going back to, but we ain't going dock in about another 6 hours. You might as well go down there and have fun. I'm like, sure. I'm hanging out with all these rich people. I'm like, you know, I'm all, hood gangster, whatever. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Miss Teacher? You feel me? So a lot of chaos. I went to prison. The last prison time I went, that's when Flock hit. And when Flocka hit Broward County, that was horrible. I was a slave to it for 13 months. Like, I left everything else alone. I didn't want no heroin. I didn't want no crack. I didn't want no beer. I didn't want none of that. I just wanted Flock.
Okay.
I just wanted Flock. And I was a slave to it for 13 months. Like, it was bad. I mean, I caught 2 battery on Leos, 2 burglaries, delivery distribution. I got a possession. I think I got one of the first original Flocka Alpha PVP charges. You feel me? And they ended up sending me to prison for 2 years for that. So when I got out, January of 2018, January 16th, 2018, I got out. I got out before that, but I had a parole violation that same day because I got drunk, walked into Walmart, stole a whole bunch of shit, and they caught me. That same day I got out of prison, shit didn't change. I went right into Walmart and stole shit, and then I got arrested again. Then basically 6 months later, they put me back up the road, and I got out January 16th, 2018. When I got out, I was like, I'm going to change something up. I went to a recovery house. Stuff was doing good. Yeah. And I just kind of gave this program a chance back then, 2018, January. And so anyways, started going to this room, and I met this female. You know, she was on a maintenance, on a Suboxone maintenance, because she was a heroin addict. Okay. But she was really cool, man. She was beautiful. She had tattoos in her face. She had a beautiful smile. She had 2 cars in her mouth. Now, when I say that, her teeth were all implants to the top, and they were Hollywood white. Like, she had the best looking mouth that you could ever imagine. Yeah. Not no sexual reference, but when she smiled, it was $1 million smile. Real talk. Like, it was, boy, she was beautiful, dog. And she had beautiful eyes and everything else. And so we kind of set it off. We hit it off, you know what I mean? And then eventually, they say 2 dead batteries can't start a car. You feel me? Yeah. So what happened is basically we made a relationship. We had a relationship. And I left the halfway house because eventually, she went back to her drug of choice. And then I joined her because I wanted to, not because she made me. You know what I'm saying? We ripping and running in a Dodge Neon. You know what I'm saying? The good thing about a Dodge Neon is the seats lay all the way back. Yeah. There's no middle console, so you can put a blanket in there. So it's like a big bed if you do that, if you put a little cushion in the middle. Right. And the AC, I kept the engine. Oh, my God. It was so bad, dog. At the end, I had to strap flashlights on the headlights just to have headlights because the car was ran down that bad. But we were running hard.
Yeah.
August 9th, and I'll fast forward, we were running hard. We were panhandling, stealing. We were doing whatever it took, you know what I'm saying? But we stuck together. She would run away when I was depleted. Relationships, that's how that work.
Yeah.
When you don't have nothing, you got to do what you got to do to get it. And she wasn't going to stay sick. She wasn't. So she had to do what she did. But she always came back. And she was who she was. And it wasn't her. It was the addiction. I'm not going to blame her whatsoever. I'm not. And then basically what happened is one night we were on a crack run, and I'm panhandling with a sign, this, that, and the third. And I don't want to be on crack, so I drink beer. And she's like, no. And she walks away, and I thought she was still there, but she wasn't. When I found out she wasn't there, I'm looking for her. I'm driving around looking for her. This cop get behind me. I don't even know he's a cop. He's unmarked. He's just following me. I'm paranoid because I don't smoke spice, smoke crack, and shot heroin, drink beer. So I'm like, who's this car behind me? So I smoked this car. And his lights come on in the distance, and I'm going to grandma's house. So I went to her grandma's house, parked the car, ran upstairs to the 3rd floor because they got like this 3rd floor apartment complex. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All the doors are facing this way, and there's enclosed staircases. Well, I ran upstairs on the left staircase, and I looked over, and all I heard was, there he is. Well, in her grandma's house, when you walk out the middle staircase, straight ahead is grandma's door. Well, I ran into the middle staircase, ran downstairs, started knocking on grandma's door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody's answering, but there's police running at me. So I'm playing like, Leonardo DiCaprio. Catch me if you can. Hey, officer, what's going on? What's up? And he runs past me, and I look in the staircase. And when I look in the staircase, the door opens up. Well, I'm not looking. So I open the door, go in there and close the door, lock it real quick. Get out. I turn around. I done ran into 209 and not 109. I ran into the wrong apartment. Oh, shit. So I got out, but I was like, fuck. So when I got out, and they arrested me. They charged me with robbery. They charged me with burglary, occupied dwelling, and they charged me with aggravated fleeing and eluding. Anyway, so they arrest me. I go to jail. Of course, car's gone, girl's gone, everything's gone. I'm in jail. I'm dead. Yeah. I'm in jail. I'm detoxing heavy, and I'm like, man, I'm dead. I'm going to prison because I've been to prison 2 times already. This is my 3rd time, 3rd strike. This one dude, good heart, came and got me out. He owned the program. Started working, started going there. But when he got me out, I was still under the radar. I wasn't doing the right thing, but I was still under the radar. But I was going to meetings. I was doing service. I was doing his program. But I was doing what I was supposed. I was appeasing the system.
Right.
March 30th, I get a phone call. 2021, I get a phone call. They found my girl dead in an abandoned apartment. You know what I mean? Or an apartment. They found her dead. And she overdosed on fentanyl, and that shit was crazy. You feel me? Like, I don't even know how I stayed sober that day, dog, when they found her because, so that was just a lot of stuff. For real, Marco, for real. That was crazy.
No, man.
Like,
listen, man, I appreciate you. I didn't even know you were going to go there.
From that day forth, actually, March 30th of 2000, I've been sober since August 9th, 2020. So that's the longest time I got. But really from March 30th, 2021, that's when I decided that these drugs took everything from me. It took my family. It took my freedom. It took my sanity. You know what I'm saying? I was sleeping behind dumpsters, eating out of dumpsters. You feel me? I was like, this ain't no game, bro. Like, for real, like, I was homeless, bro, for 16 years. Sometimes I had the same socks on for 2-3 weeks. You can stand them up, they'd walk away on their own. You know what I mean? But I was like, yo, God's doing something, bro. He took everything from me, bro. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And that's when recovery kicked in. Yeah, and man. That's what happened. Yeah, man. And that's what happened. And when God took everything from me, I was like, that's it, man. That's it. Forget about it. So I started diving into the program. I got a sponsor. Started going to meetings. Picked up a service commitment. Started doing that. I got a home group. Started doing that. Started reading the big book with my sponsor. Started doing all that. You know what I mean? Like, I did everything. When it came to unity, service, recovery, the triangle, I did it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they say, you know, what it is, trust God, clean house, help others. You feel me?
Yeah.
I had to trust God, that God was going to do whatever he could for me. Clean house. I can't help nobody if I don't clean my house. You know what I'm saying? People are like, well, what's cleaning the house? Well, easy, bro. Your body's your temple. In a temple, there's rooms. You know, in those rooms, you got a bathroom, you got a kitchen, you got a living room, you got a den. You know what I'm saying? Your bathroom is your hygiene. Your kitchen is your nutrition. Your bedroom's your sleep. You know, your den's your finances. Start cleaning that up. You know what I'm saying? So you start cleaning up all those things in your house, which is your internal, your spirit. You feel me? Then it's called attraction rather than promotion. Attraction rather than promotion. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, your temple's starting to look good, and it's sitting in the kingdom of heaven, which is under God, and it's guarded from God. And only the spirit, your spirit, because I'm sorry, my higher power is God. You feel me?
Yeah, no.
You know, God gives you the key to your temple, and only you have that key. Nobody else can come in, only if you let somebody in. You know what I'm saying? Like your wife or a girlfriend or something like that. But when you clean house, you clean house. Yeah. Now people walk by and they see that and they want to walk up to you. Hey, what's going on? What you got? Now you got that attraction. Now you know you're going to carry the message of Alcoholics Anonymous to other sick and suffering individuals. You do that. Yeah, but you can't do nothing if you don't have honesty. You know what I'm saying? We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. I say we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. I could say the drugs part, that's in the big book too, sedatives and everything else. You know, they did all that. That's in there. You know, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step 2, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. You have to do all that. You know, then you go to step 4, made a fearless searching inventory of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that. You have to do that because that's how you're going to clean your house and you're going to give yourself courage. So you start doing those things. Now, I'm going to not take up all the time, but what happened is basically I'll give you some gifts of recovery. Some of the gifts of recovery. Remember that daughter that was 3 months old that I left behind? Yeah. I was able to pay her ticket last year to bring her down here. To bring her down here. I got her a hotel room. I paid for the plane ticket. You feel me? And she handed me my 1-year medallion, and that was the first time I ever see my own daughter. You know what I'm saying? I could call her right now. She'll pick up the phone with a heartbeat. You feel me? I never had a car. I got a car. My sponsor said, hey, why are you going to buy a car? Don't you have to get your license and insurance first and get the money together for thing? I was like, shit, yeah. He's like, do that, and then you can get a car. So I started listening to my sponsor. So I got a license. I got my insurance in order. I got the money for that. And then I was able to buy a car, and car came. Boom, got a car. Now the recovery place I'm living at, they make me a manager to help others. Now I'm working there. Plus I'm working my job. The blessings are coming in. Yeah, man. People are asking me, this homeless dude that was sitting at the stairs at Broward Central Terminal for 16 years to come speak and carry a message of Alcoholics Anonymous to them, to sick and suffering. And they go, who the hell am I? You feel me? I'm just this average Joe Blow. You know what I'm saying? But it works, man. It works, bro. I'm here. I'm sober today. I don't look like I'm chewing on nuts and bolts. You feel me? My teeth are clean. I'm healthy. I'm fed. I'm clean. I know what a shower is. When I wake up in the morning, I make my bed. That's the first sense of accomplishments that I got. And it's just, I read my big book. I call my sponsor every day. I bounce stuff off him every day. He don't like me sometimes, but I'm like, yo, this is what it is. You feel me? Like, it is what it is. Hey, I got into a relationship. I don't want to hear it. Page 69. We're not arbiters of your relationship. We don't give you that. All I can say is, it spiritual? Go pray. Go pray. Go pray. Go pray. That's it. That's all you got to say. Go pray. And guess what? I'll go pray. Yeah. Let go, let God. What the hell is that? Let go, let God. I don't know what that. Let go and let God. Just let it go. Yeah. Write it on a piece of paper, put it in the God box, put it in there, and let God handle it, and walk away from it. Turn it over to God. What's turning it over to God? Easy. Write all the good things on one side what God is, and write on the other side what God isn't. And when it says turn it over to God, what do you want to turn it over to God? I want to turn it to the good side. Oh, forgiveness, merciful, this, that. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to give this to God. And it's stuff like that that works, man. It works. Now, it works. And anyways, today my life is beyond my wildest imagination. Yes, I still have problems. I actually went to a mental health, behavioral health today, and I went and got psych meds. It went good. Yeah. There's a doctor with a degree says, hey, Jason, you have severe depression going on. Because it happens. Because when you're in recovery, you still have life on life's terms. Yes, you're no longer putting a substance in your body to change. And sometimes you can't handle that. So
plus like also too, like the trauma, man, like you're still dealing with that, like that doesn't go away. That's a lot. Also therapy too, man. I'm speaking from my point of view. you know, that I also have to do therapy, man. Like, you know, I went through the same shit. I went through similar stuff with my father, man. My father used to beat me 4, 6, 8 punch combinations, knock me out. He did it, but he did it smart. He did it to my body. He didn't do it to my face, so my mom wouldn't know about it. You know, I never told anybody that till I actually walked out of rehab. I walked out of rehab, and I told my wife that, and nobody could. I was so fucking ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit, dude. That look, man. You know, the reason why, like, you know, when I heard your story before the first time, and you say, you know, why does anybody want to hear your story? Like, you were this, you were that. That's the reason people gravitate to you, bro. Like, people gravitate to you because you came from fucking nothing, man. You're talking about years of being on the streets, years of drug use, and you turn it around. You know, you did time. You turn it around. Like, you have like all this trauma when you were younger too. Like, when I saw you speak at that meeting in Pompano, there was like each guy raised his hand after you shared, and it was relatable. That was the whole point. Like, when I heard you share, it was very relatable and it's very honest, and it's to the point. And that's it. There's no sugarcoating what you talk about.
What? I mean, if I'm
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I got more friends right now in the cemetery than I got alive right now.
Right.
That's the truth of it. That fentanyl epidemic, like, real talk. I ain't on bullshit. You feel me? I done shot it. I done died of it 6 times. If it wouldn't have been for my ex, she kept me alive 4 times. You know what I'm saying? But this fentanyl, bro, like, for real. Yeah. People doing it by themselves, they dead. Yeah. People doing it with couples and they do it together, they dead. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. They got hotlines out now to tell you to call them before you do the fentanyl, just so they can check on you, so you can be on the phone live while you're doing it. Come on, what type of bullshit is that? You feel me? Like, for real, you got this shit called fentanyl, which is a horse tranquilizer. Then you got carfentanil, which is an elephant tranquilizer. And I'm sorry, bro, I don't see no elephants and horses in this room, bro. Yeah. I don't see it. It's like going to the vet and putting a dog to sleep. That's what that shit is. You putting yourself to sleep. There ain't even no heroin in that shit. They put a little bit in there. There's not heroin. Oh, I'm a heroin addict. No, you not. You a suicide addict. Yeah. And that's what I say, and I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'll help anybody as much as I can. I'll do my service.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Give me 2, 3 sentences how you want to finish this. What you want to tell somebody that is going through a similar situation, and how you have your clean time right now. What would you tell them?
Okay, well, that's actually pretty easy, man. You got this thing called God. You got this thing called God. If you don't believe him, believe that I believe. You feel me? Believe that I believe, because you can Google my name, whatever. This is where I come from. You got to believe in something. Believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And all you got to do is just put one foot in front of the other. Put one foot in front of the other. Do things that you don't want to do. You know, you gotta be uncomfortable to get comfortable. Remember that. You gotta be uncomfortable to get comfortable. Listen, if you go into the rooms and you raise your hand and you say, hey, I'm a newcomer, I want help, you're gonna get help. Yeah. That's a fact. Because there's gonna be someone there that's gonna care. Fact, yeah. I need help. Because there's gonna be somebody like me in that room that can be like, yo, I got you. But it's got to be the intent. You know, some people go to rooms for show and tell. They want to dress up and go in there and look all cute and then talk the big book, this, that, and the third. It's all gravy. But there's people out here dying, man. This disease is real. Alcoholics, same thing. My girl, she a full-blown alcoholic. My ex, my girl. I don't know what she is right now. We have a strife. But she a full-blown alcoholic. Yeah. And she almost died from alcohol and benzos and all that stuff, man. And bro, listen, man. It'll take you out. But if you want a life beyond your wildest imagination, wildest dreams, and the 9-step promises says you will be amazed before you are halfway through. Give it a shot, man. Start off with 30 days. Then go to 60 days. Then go to 90. Then go to 180. Then get your 9 months. Then get your year. And then worry about it. But give yourself a chance. Because this person right here, okay, let's say Jason, right, real quick. This Jason right here, right? The addict. The liar, the thief, the cheat, the manipulator, the deceiver, the asshole. He wants to come out right now. Yeah. He wants to come out. He's tugging on me. He's on my pocket. He's screaming every day. I ain't gonna lie. I have a burning desire every day until I say my prayer. Okay. I have a burning because it's a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful. It tries to take you out. Right. You see it, you trigger. You do this, you trigger. Triggers ain't always bad. You just got to have a spirit. You got to be spiritually conditioned not to go into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People say spiritually conditioned or religion. No, man, spirit, your soul, your inside, you You just say, man, listen, Jason, you stay right there because this Jason right here has got a way better life.
Yeah, man.
He's got a way better life because my worst day in recovery still beats my best day in active addiction any day. I wake up with money in my pocket. I wake up with clean socks. I don't have to eat out of dumpsters. I can cook something. And that dude right there, that little shithead, he can stay right there. Because in the big book, it says it, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah. You know, and insanity is repeating itself doing something to repeat itself over and over again, expecting a different result. Me, my insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. Yeah. Because me, I got a good high, I got a good drunk, and I want that high again. So I'm chasing that good high again. But I'm not going to get it because I got 16 different personalities that can pop out at any time and fuck me up and put me in jail or kill me or put me somewhere I don't want to be at. For real now. No. And put me in a cop car every time because, listen, I break out in allergies. I get handcuffs. And I can't get out of them. I'll run with them, too. Because every time a cracker stop me, I'm gone. My bad. No disrespect to the police. Respect all the public servants out there. But they stop me, yo, Jason, pow. Ain't nothing faster when I'm high. You got to catch me if you can. You got to work for that one. I ain't going to lie, bro. But
so listen, man.
Leave that one alone, man.
Listen,
I love you, Marco. I think you're doing a good job out here.
No, bro. Listen, man. I appreciate you, and you brought me to the spot in Pompano. Like it was amazing, and it's something that somebody's gonna hear this, and we keep what we have by giving it away.
That's what it is.
All right. So listen, man. It's good seeing you. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk to me. Right.
Call me. I'm here, man.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and if you guys need. If somebody that you know is struggling with addiction or recovery, or if you need help or suggestions, you can email me at BAMNrealrecoverytalk@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Take care.
Don't pick up.
Later.